I'm Molly Alexander, and I'm AgroLiquid's Southeast Regional Agronomist. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the importance of boron in late season cotton. Boron is responsible for the pollination of these flowers. This is an early flower ready and open to be pollinated. It then goes to this stage, which is going to become a pink to a reddish flower. It'll then shed this flower, and here we have a young boll starting out. Boron is responsible for retaining these bolls and boll fill, and then also boron is responsible for the end goal here, which is going to be a boll that's full, and then we're looking at fiber and lint quality. We do need boron early on in the plant's life cycle, so most farmers will apply a pre-plant granular boron. And we do this because boron is responsible for cell wall formation, structure, and stability, and it's also responsible for sugar movement in the plant. Sugar is an energy source, and we need those energies for the plant to be able to get off to a good and healthy start. I would recommend that we look at your soil test prior to applying a pre-plant dry boron. And a rule of thumb is a pound to the acre if your parts per million are at 0.25 to 0.50. And then we usually go to 2 pounds per acre if we are at 0.25 parts per million or less. Moving forward throughout the cotton season, we do have many opportunities to get a foliar boron applied. Most of the time, cotton farmers will go across their field anywhere from once every 2 weeks to once a week, just depending on the needs of the cotton crop. They're putting out insecticides, herbicides, fertilizer, and then we're also going to put out a PGR later on in the season because we want that cotton to swap from vegetative growth to reproductive growth. I would recommend on these passes, this is where you would start applying your foliar boron, because the most critical stage of cotton for boron to come into play is going to be between flowering and fruit set. This is because boron is responsible for boll production and retention, pollination, flowering, and fiber quality. It also puts more fruiting sites on the plant. The more fruiting sites that we have, the more bolls we'll have on the plant. Another reason why I recommend foliar boron is because the granular boron that we applied earlier in the season does tend to leach. It can be leached through irrigation, it can be leached through heavy rainfall or drought, or it can be robbed out of the soil from other things such as weed pressure. There are deficiencies to look for, and early deficiencies are hard to see. They are dark rings around the petiole of a cotton plant, and you have shortened internodes, but sometimes these mimic other nutrient deficiencies, and so personally I would rather recommend boron spoon-fed in a foliar approach than to treat it after you've seen the problem. By the time we see the problem that is a clear visual issue, which is going to be the shedding of squares, which remember our squares make bolls, and then also mature full bolls shedding off the plant, we have drastically reduced yield. Boron can be toxic to plants, so you could pull a tissue test and get a read from that, or I would recommend just spoon feeding it throughout the process so we're not putting entirely too much boron in and the plant is absorbing it at different timings, and boron toxicity can lead to even plant death. Let's recap why boron is so important in late season cotton. Boron does aid in fruiting sites, and then it also aids in pollination, which gives us our squares, where our squares turn into our bolls. Then it also aids in that boll retention and then the fiber quality within the boll. Boron is susceptible to loss and leaching, so early season granular boron, we need to supplement with foliar boron to make sure that we have enough available to the plant and it can be utilized, and it'll compensate from the loss of the granular that we applied early. If you have any questions or would like to receive more information about boron in late season cotton application, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, I am Molly Alexander, AgroLiquid's Southeast Regional Agronomist.